$350 trillion. That's what we all want in our industry. The only thing that's going to really take us there is if all the value in regulated and compliant systems can, in a legal way, migrate into this new format.
Welcome in to the blockchain basement, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen of the cryptoverse. Now, the world's on fire. How about yours? The portfolios are getting beaten down, and Chainlink has fallen down into that $13 buy zone I highlighted on a few videos past, but the state of the market is very dire, folks. Right now, we have the NASDAQ 100 officially entering into correction territory. Crypto has raised over $1 trillion in market cap over the last 90 days, and gold prices are up. What happened to our digital gold? What the hell's going on? Well, I'm going to dive into how much pressure is on the macroeconomic environment right now. Today, March 10th, is a very, very important day for the Treasury and for banks across the country related to the devil in the details of their commercial real estate holdings and how Chainlink is aiming to solve this solution. Before we get into this, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and smash the like on this video. Spread the message about the blockchain basement out to the masses. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Y'all know me. I'm a Chainlink maxi. I'm going to hold this even if this is the blow off top and we're going into another few years of pain. I am not that bothered. I'm going to continue stacking Chainlink the whole way long because it's clear as day where this system is moving to in general. As highlighted by Immortal, fear is at the same levels right now in the crypto market as it was during the COVID-19 crash and the 2022 bottom, all while the US announced a Bitcoin reserve. Well, guess who was one of the few people that was allowed to speak in front of the public to Donald Trump? It was none other than Sergey, the man at the beginning of this video, the leader of Chainlink. With the balls that this man has, I do not see him talking about some potentials. Sergey coming out and talking to Trump about how to revamp the system at large tells me he already knows that they've chosen Chainlink to do this, and he's coming out just letting the rest of the world know for everyone that's willing to pay attention right now. And for those paying attention, here it is. The US commercial real estate sector is headed towards a crisis. This comes as more than $1 trillion in commercial real estate loans are coming due beginning today. That's right, March 10th begins the repayment process from the banks that took emergency loans from the Treasury back in March of 2023 to keep afloat while sitting on immense amounts of unrealized losses. They took emergency loans to keep the doors open, and now that money is due back to the Treasury. Here is the overall graph for where the unrealized gains and losses are sitting for these regional banks, which is now heading back to the downside, sitting at about $450 billion in unrealized losses. But the deal here was that the Treasury made these emergency loans to the banks, assuming that the property valuations that the banks had on the books would return back to the valuations it was at previous to COVID. But guess what happened? Things got worse. Here is a post from TripleNet Investor, one of hundreds of posts highlighting major commercial real estate locations that are being sold for dimes on the dollar. A prime medical office retail building in Chicago sold for a shocking 78% discount. Yes, you read that right. 200,000 square foot Clybourne corridor sold for $20 million or $100 per square foot. What did it sell for in 2004, you might ask? $89 million, and it was worth far more at its peak. Now we highlight this. Look at this. 2004. The price has changed, yes, but also the buying power of the dollar has vastly changed since 2004 when it sold for $89 million, now going for a mere $20 million. This, since 2004, we have doubled our money supply and the buying power has been cut in half. So this $89 million mark of what it was back then, honestly, should be around $150 million where we currently sit in our current day and age. And with the commercial real estate unwinding, we have major organizations like Blackstone stepping back and lowering their exposure. Blackstone said its U.S. offices now make up 2% of the portfolio, down from 60% in 2007. Only the top 10% of office buildings in New York City are not in distress mode, and New York City building recently sold for 30% less than its 2006 sale price. There's a total of $900 billion in U.S. commercial real estate debt that is coming due. This actually is in the trillion plus range at this moment in time, folks. Major levers are going to have to be pulled by the Treasury and Federal Reserve to keep this system afloat. They just don't want you to know about it. And which industries are leading the slump when it comes to commercial real estate? Let's have a look here. We have offices coming in, taking the King Kugla spot, but also apartments, self-storage properties, and then industrial. These are the major pain points, but it's primarily focused on offices because of remote work, because of the downsizing. And now you add into that the ability to implement AI systems for customer service roles, for Salesforce data aggregation. We are going to see an absolute apocalypse on these office locations because there's simply not the need to bring the people back. Remember when they said non-essential? They meant it. And now, as all this happens and people really don't have any need to return to those office buildings, foreclosures on these properties are on the rise. Foreclosures on the rise valued of seized commercial properties held by lenders, and this is in the billions. Okay, so we go back to 2008 at the beginning of the housing/real estate crisis. Right here at the beginning of this trend, we had a major swing up to about $47-48 billion just per month. We had a major upswing to the realm of $48 billion in a short amount of time. And then down as the pressures were relieved, we saw some quantitative easing, and now we see the sharp rise coming once again. And we all know that massive amounts of bailouts are given to the banks, but not the people that are actually the victims in this whole deal. When your bank goes under, they do what's called a bank bail-in, where they can go into your account and take the money that you have in your bank account to fix the problem they created. And this was all put in place under the Dodd-Frank Act in the housing crisis of 2007-2008. This massive amount of pressure for the Treasury and Federal Reserve is just getting started. And now we see the commercial real estate loans, and 44% of office building loans are now in negative equity. In other words, the debt is now greater than the property value on all of these properties. Currently, these banks hold $2.9 trillion of commercial real estate debt, the majority of which is held by regional banks, folks. This is a major effing problem that they're not wanting to tell you, because that would cause a bank run. And God forbid people go store their value for themselves on an Oculus cold storage wallet. Don't do that. Don't use code BASE10 to become your own bank. Link in the description. No, stay in the banks and let them bail into your information, to your money, and take it to fix the problems they created. Sure. Why will Chainlink play into this changing financial landscape? Let's have a quick look here. We have to remind you of this Swift partnership with Chainlink. Swift UABS Asset Management and Chainlink successfully completing innovative pilot programs to bridge these tokenized assets, including real estate, with existing payment systems. If you go to Chainlink's website, it gives you a full explanation on their entire build out of real world assets explained, as well as how to tokenize real estate within this, but basically an intermediary player between the existing infrastructure of Web 2 and data aggregation to Web 3 and bringing these assets on chain. This is where the larger conversation of tokenizing real world assets comes into play, bringing a more transparent system and better data to the Federal Reserve and the Treasury for policymaking decisions, not obscured by all of the curtains and shadiness that these banks use to veil the problems that are underneath. Crypto is only sexy to me if it's fixing a real world problem. What Chainlink is aiming to do, and what it's already in process of doing with Swift and soon to be the United States government and federal treasury system, is massive implications for what this project is going to actually look like 10 years from now. So if this is the bear market that's starting, and that was the worst bull market of ever, I'm simply going to buy more Chainlink. I'm sitting on a nice bag I've been building for multiple cycles. I am a buyer at this $13 Chainlink level, and I feel completely comfortable with my bags because Sergey, as you've seen at the White House, laying it down for Donald Trump on how the system is going to change with this administration working with us on it, and what the future of a $350 trillion market will look like on Web3. Hopefully you're not getting shakeout and selling your bags to BlackRock and the massive market makers. Hold your crypto in self-custody, stay based, stay focused, and for me personally, I'm only looking at projects with tangible value and a real-world application. With that being said, love and appreciate every single one of you out there in the blockchain basement. Share this message out to the world, and I'll see you on the next one.